Hi, I'm Chad Huebener.
And I'm Sara Huebener with Edina Realty. Today we're going to talk about what happens if you have a purchase agreement and throughout the course of the transaction it becomes canceled by both parties for any variety of reasons, whether it's an inspection or an appraisal or other reason, and everyone signs a cancellation and now one or both of the parties are regretful that that cancellation was signed. We have seen a number of cases over the past few years where one of the parties and then subsequently both have signed a cancellation on the purchase agreement, and then one of the parties has come back to the table saying, I kind of really wish I wouldn't have signed it, and is it possible to get the house back again, or is it possible to reach out to these buyers and see if they'll still come back to the table? And one of the first things we look at in that type of situation is the house still available, and then who are we dealing with on the other end? Sometimes in these types of situations you might have one party to the transaction that is feeling hurt or like they weren't treated or they didn't have a good feeling about the transaction, which was what caused them to cancel it in the first place, but really it was the house that they loved. Or sometimes you'll just have the parties are feeling they're very fact-based and they leave the emotion out, and it didn't seem like it was a situation that would work well for them, and now they're changing their mind and wishing they had kept it together. So a lot of times it just involves going back to that agent on the other side and having the discussion and seeing what can be done.
And it happens more often than people think, too, with some of that.
Yeah. One of the concerns that a buyer might have in that type of situation is, am I leaving a lot of my leveraging power on the table by doing that, by coming back now to the seller? And the answer to that is really it depends. It depends on the seller on the other end, if they're willing to just reopen the door where things had left off, or if they're going to be a little more tough in certain situations depending on how it ended, I guess, in the first place.
And if there's other activity in that house as well.
Right.
So when the house comes back on the market, is there a lot of showings? What's happening with the property?
Yeah. So there have been a number of situations where we've been pretty successful in resurrecting a canceled purchase agreement. There's a bit of paperwork entailed in that, but it's always doable. And usually once we get things put back together, everybody's happy. So hopefully if you're ever in a real estate situation, it doesn't get to that. But if it does come to that, it's not always a dead-end situation. A lot of times you can breathe life back into a transaction that has gone cold. If we can answer any questions for you in the future, give us a call. We hope you enjoyed this topic, and if you have any topics that you would like us to discuss, please let us know.